Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, do you know, I was just thinking then, I was listening to our podcast yesterday, and Billy still has the crowd cheering.
Billy's the man. Billy is our AV editor, the most amazing AV editor I've ever worked with. The guy is phenomenal.
It was great. Cracked me up. I just had it on like loudspeaker, listening to it. Oh, I loved it. Thank you, Billy. Thank you so much. Such a little ego boost. But I loved it. I loved
it. Too much. Too good. So, Tim, I want to talk today about something. I was reflecting earlier today and woke up this morning. I actually went to the gym for a workout. My wife was still lying in bed, came home, and just crawled into bed with her, and we were just kind of snuggling, which is, something we like to do. And then my son got up, and we just had a great time downstairs. And my wife brought up something that was bothering her, right? And we sat down and we just had a conversation about it, which is so different than it used to be. Because what it used to be like, it was my wife would bring up something that was wrong in our relationship or something that was happening, and it would instantly trigger me. I would get instantly upset and angry. And I'd just be like, look, I don't want to talk about it. And I'd walk away. It got so bad that I remember one time distinctively that she wanted to talk about, we had a disconnection. We were disconnecting and drifting apart. And there were other areas of our relationship that started to show signs of weakness, right? Because we were drifting apart and weren't communicating. And my wife sat down with me on the couch, and always at night. I don't know why women always want to talk at night, but they do. It's the weirdest thing. And sat down with me on the couch, and she started explaining the problem. All I heard were things that I was doing wrong. Immediately, I got up. I was just angry. I got up, and I started walking out the door. And my wife ran and literally threw herself out the door, putting herself in front of it. And I kept on saying, leave, move. And she just started sobbing. Tears like I've never seen her cry. Don't go. Because she knew at that moment, if I walked out that door, Tim, I wasn't coming back. I just wasn't coming back. I used to use the excuse that I need time to think about it, right? That's the way I process. I just want time to think about it, and we'll have a conversation later, right? Because in the heat of the moment. But that builds. That was building on me, stacking, and that pressure that came on. And I didn't want to argue or yell. I was so angry, I just wanted to yell and scream like, how do you think these issues? I'm busting my ass at work. I'm working out. Like I had great shape. You have everything that any woman could possibly want, except connection. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head, apart from connection.
This is me in the moment. Anything you could possibly have, and yet now you're dumping more on my shoulders. I'm running multiple companies. I got all these employees and staff to worry about. I've got family things that are happening. I had a medical issue with one person in my family, which is I was trying to solve, right? Like I was a doctor. I was trying to solve. The weight of the world was on my shoulders, and here she was dumping more on me. It was like, oh my, I can't do anything right. Screw it. I can't do anything right. I'm out. And I just kind of went towards the door, right? Luckily, I stopped to grab something before I was out, which gave her time to literally, I can picture this now, throw herself against the door, and she went down on the ground, right? Almost like a doorstop, so I couldn't open it. And I was trying my best, not to yell, right? Because I'm so angry, you just want to just attack. And so I thought the best thing I could possibly do, Tim, was walk away. Just walk away. Like let myself cool down, give myself some time to think about it, and walk away. Which I think a lot of guys go through. I don't know if you and Amelia have ever talked about that or ever had that issue go on, but you get to the point where you're like, look, I don't want to talk about this. This is ridiculous.
I just used to close down. Yeah, I just used to close down because I felt like it was an attack on me. It was an attack on my ability to provide as a man.
Yeah.
And as a result, I then felt ashamed that, holy shit, I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing good enough. If I was doing good enough, then these issues wouldn't be coming up. So, and I, along with thinking about, my head being full with everything to do with business and, like you say, balancing that with then working out. Because, it's easy to get into this place of feeling guilty, right? Because even when business is going well, sometimes for a lot of guys, it can then mean that they've got to drop the ball on their health. So then that weighs a little bit on your mind because you know you should be in better shape. You used to be in better shape. You used to sleep better. So you're trying to juggle that. And then, you feel like the relationship's going good enough. You're having sex. You're getting along. So you think, right, good. It's like spinning plates, isn't it? And you want to run from the plate that's going to fall. And you think you've got the marriage plate spinning. It's going. It's good enough. The health one's falling, business is spinning. So then as soon as the argument comes up, it's totally out of the blue. It's like, shit, I've got to go there. And well, that's what it was like for me. And I just shut down. I didn't have it in me. I wanted to escape. I felt like every word that was said was a complete attack on me as a man.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing, right? I wanted to escape too. My escape happened to be the door that I was going out of. But I did the same thing. You emotionally just shut down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. That kind of where you're really placating the person, that making them like, all right, yeah, sure. And you start to feel down, and then you shut down emotionally. You just get hollow inside. And it gets to a point for a lot of men where you stop feeling in general. You have no feelings. You don't have the high highs that you had when you were in your, 18, 19, whatever. You're not laughing and giggling anymore. You're just kind of cruising, right? No emotion, no big dips up, no big dips down. That's not living. That's not living. It's, being a human being is being, right? And you're not living in that state. And that screws up work. I don't care who you are. That boils over into your work. And now your wife, right, or your partner feels like you've left them. You've emotionally, as it's been explained to me, emotionally left the relationship. And as we've talked about before, when that happens, usually your partner physically leaves the relationship, right? That's a weird dichotomy between men and women, right? We get connection over physical connection, but in a relationship, we emotionally leave first. And the woman physically leaves, but yet she needs emotional connection. So it's a really interesting yin yang on those two things.
Sorry, you made me think of something. And that's the thing, right? Because as guys, we're taught to believe that in order to fix the problem, we've got to talk about it. But in actual fact, you can get ahead of the problem even becoming a problem in the first place by focusing on connecting, focusing on connecting, right? It's kind of, someone explained it to me like this, and it really hit home. They said, right, Tim, if you were stuck in the snow in your car and you couldn't get out and you're pushing your foot on the accelerator, and the harder you pushed, what would happen to the car? Well, you dig a deeper hole. You just get stuck. So what would you do in that situation, Tim, to get out of the snow? I'm like, well, what would I do? Okay, well, I'd get out of my car, I'd try and push it. What would I do? And he's like, no, you're going the wrong way around. You just get out of your car, pull some branches off a tree, put them down behind the wheels so you can get some traction, and then slowly push on the accelerator and be able to get out. It's the same in the relationship when you've got this disconnect in your marriage. If sometimes when you just try and talk about it, like some of the guys, like you in therapy or marriage counseling, and some of the other guys talking about it is like putting the foot on the accelerator, it digs a deeper hole. Whereas if you focus on the connection, that's like putting the branches down behind the tire, gives you a little bit of traction to be able to create something new in the relationship and focus on actually having fun together and connecting, like, the thing that brought you together in the first place.
Totally true. And, what's interesting is when you think about it, and any guy listening to this that got kids, right away that if you're not giving your kids positive attention, what happens? They start throwing things in the house. They start breaking things. They'll do anything for attention. Bad attention, just as good. I'll take it, right? Your wife is going to do the same thing. If she's not getting the emotional attention she needs from you, she's going to get attention another way. She's going to sign you up and badger you, right? Badger is probably the best word, to go to therapy, right? That's good, counseling or therapy or something like that. Or she's going to cheat on you to get your attention. She's going to start doing weird things in the house to get your attention. She's going to flirt with other men to get your attention. She's going to stop treating you like the man that you are to get your attention. All of these things just to try to grab onto something that's real before it's too late. But there is a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the cool part that, I was able to find out, and a lot of the men we talked to were able to do. But I'm going to tell you, it takes work. Tim, this is not a like, oh, light bulb moment done.
No,
everybody's
a quick fix.
hack. I was. Give me the one thing I need to do, and I'll just do it. Right? I can grind out anything. I'll just do it. It doesn't work that way. You have to have a systemized formula to follow, and you got to change your own self. You need to basically reset and reclaim who you are as a man, your individual self as a man, to be able to push forward. The reason you can't talk about or don't want to talk about it is because you don't know what's going on inside you. As men, we've been told for so long, by our fathers, our grandfathers, and the media, it's just shut up, put your head down, and get shit done. Right? And I'm great at that. I was amazing. And then when I started to speak out even more, that was even more tension, right? Because that wasn't the way I normally was. And I didn't have the skills to do it effectively, to communicate effectively. And the truth is, I look back at it, which is so ironic as being a grown man, is I wasn't. I was grown physically, but emotionally I was not. I was stagnated. There was no rite of passage. There wasn't anybody there giving me the advice that I would wish I would have now, that we impart with the guys that are going through the brotherhood and also the activation method of what you can do to foster that relationship and have more connection with yourself so you can have fun. You can have fun in life, fun in business, fun in bed. Trust me, when you're connected, the fun in bed gets freaky fun, and it's amazing. So there's another side to this that will keep you out of counseling and therapy too, which is a benefit, because your wife doesn't want to go to counseling and therapy. She doesn't want to do that. She's just craving connection. You don't know how to do it yet. You haven't learned. It's not your fault. No one's taught you how to do it. No one's taught you how to do marriage or relationships as a powerful man. No one's taught you. And your wife is craving this. She is dying for this. Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey was such a big success? The lead character was a man's man. And he becomes emotionally developed over time in the books.
Yeah, it reminds me, last week I spoke with a guy who joined the program, and the conversation about halfway through gone to him connecting with his wife. And he said, Tim, I just don't get it though, because I get home on an evening and I've been at work all day making all these fast decisions on the fly, boom, 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 decisions that are worth a lot of money. And I come home and walk through the door and she's been eating cookies. She's let herself go. And she is complaining about the dishes that haven't been done or the rooms that are untidy. And I just don't have the time for it. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Your decisions, your problems are minuscule compared to the decisions I've been making all day. Just deal with it. Why can't you just deal with it? But the reality is, all of this was a call for connection. She wasn't eating the cookies and, gorging on them because she loved the cookies. She was craving connection, but he came home on an evening and he thought the problem was around communication, around, just getting things done. But because he wasn't connecting with her, she felt isolated. And the funny thing here as well is I think it's about 50% of men who do go to marriage counseling, 50% of them, or it's higher than that. Anyway, whatever percentage, it's a high percentage of men say they're fine with the relationship. Everything's good. Everything's good. Because usually, they're having sex, maybe not as frequent as they'd like, or maybe not to the depth they'd want, and maybe there's not as much intimacy as they'd like, but, we're having some sex, it can't be that bad, and I'm making money, so there's a roof over the head, there's food on the table, we go on great holidays, she drives a nice car, she's got the house that she wanted, and, and so on. But in actual fact, it's the connection that she's craving. You don't need to focus so much on the communication to get to the connection. You can go straight to the connection. But like you said, it requires you to know who you are too, right? So you can actually, if you're not having fun with yourself, it's very difficult to then create that fun with your wife, right? If
It's
everything becomes
impossible.
about work and business and that's all you focus on, then it's going to be more difficult. So you got to, like you said, you got to have a better system. I get why guys end up there. I was there. It's so easy to get lost in work when you love what you do as well. Right? It's so easy. You've been there. We love what we do. Time flies by. So easy to just enjoy that buzz of the next deal and creating things, building business. It's so easy to get lost in it. I get it. But at the same time, you've got to have a system and accountability. This is the key thing, right? Because it's so easy to get lost in it. You've got to have the system and accountability to work in a slightly different way so you can have more balance and create that connection with your wife so you can minimize the need to have the conversations where you're walking out the door and you just can't handle it.
Well, yeah, if you don't make a huge change, like a paradigm shift, so to speak, right away, then you're going to go back to your default patterns. We've all done this with health, nutrition, diets. I mean, come on, we've all done it. And you need that paradigm shift. We talk about in The Powerful Man, we talk about the 5 agonies, right? So you need a paradigm shift to get yourself out of those agonies. You just have to. Otherwise, you're going to go back to them. And that's going to be your new norm, your new standard. And you don't want that. You know, you talk to, like, I know a couple guys really well whose wives cheated on them. And it devastated them. I mean, devastated them. And they're still not completely recovered from it. And each of those guys told me they did not see it coming. They didn't see it coming, but they wouldn't do the work. You know, they wouldn't do it. They'd ask for advice on things, you know, usually around business, but, you know, their relationships, they never asked for it. They never took the steps necessary to get themselves out of the 5 agonies because they didn't want to talk about it, right? We don't talk about these things. Let's just keep going, keep going the path. And it didn't work for them and it blew up. And I get so energized and angry about this because I love these guys. They're amazing men. And I had to watch them go through this process. And, you know, they didn't have the activation method to go through. The activation method now exists. It exists for men to be able to go through. It's designed for business owners who are in relationships, serious relationships, married or otherwise, and most have kids. And it's a system that gets them out of the 5 agonies, not for a week, not for a month, but permanently, and puts them on a path to success. And we talk about 1 destination, 2 paths, right? You have the path over here that you're grinding it out and things look good. And all of a sudden, it burns down. You fall back down the path and you climb back up and grind it out and fall back down. Meanwhile, there's another path. It's like an elevator. It just keeps going up, 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 and up. And you've seen guys on this path, the second one. You've seen them on, and you just think they're lucky. They must be lucky, or they just married better than I did, right? That's a common one we think about. They just picked a better partner than I did. No, that's not the case. They have a system, a methodology that allows them to predictably get results in their life time and time again. And they're just cruising on this path. It took work to get there, but they're on it.
Yeah, they're still working, right?
Oh, they're still working, everything, but it's great. It's enjoyable. We've all been in that zone, right? You're playing sports, you get in the zone where it's flow. And you can get in that same zone when it comes to relationships. You can get in that same zone when it comes to actually talking about what's going on for you. I'm not talking about your feelings all day and grabbing Kleenex and all that BS, but I'm talking about being able to communicate effectively. And that's really what communication is about, is being able to say what you want to get the end result that you want a lot of times. Not manipulation, but communication. And most of us guys haven't been taught how to do it effectively, right? You just haven't do it. You think of James Bond, for example. I watch the James Bond movies, and he's able to effectively communicate and persuade people, but also talk to women very effectively. And most of us guys have lost that along the time or never been taught those skills. And therefore we hide, we run, like me trying to get out the door, right? I'm out. Like, I don't want to talk about this crap, get out. And so I'm literally trying to get out the door to get away from the conversation because I'm so angry, or you shutting down, right? There's a better way. There's a way that results in better, hotter sex, right? More connection with your wife, the person you actually loved, and rekindling that relationship on a regular basis. There's a better way where your kids are seeing what a quality marriage could be like so they can emulate it. There's a better way that You have energy and passion that you can bring into your company without having to suck down, 5 cups of coffee and Red Bulls all day, right? It's just a better system of being. It allows you to have more fun in life, while growing your companies, while dominating in your industry, while being the man of your house, but in an enjoyable way. And it's there for everybody who wants it.
Where can they find it?
Well, if you haven't gotten over already, you should have. But if you haven't already, go over to thealphareset.com. You'll see some videos. We'll be our founder, Tim, here talking to you. And that we do have an application. It's not for everybody, right? We work with men who are business owners who are very serious about having their relationships, their family relationships ahead of their business. That doesn't mean that they discount their business, right? They use their business to actually boost up their relationships in their family. Family first, business second, right? Those are the men that we work with. So it's thealphareset.com. Get on a phone call with Tim or one of our other coaches. It's not a salesperson, right? We're men who have been through this like you. We're just like you. And you, like me, want to achieve the best in life. And that's really what this is all about. So go over to thealphareset.com right now. No obligation at all. And then no matter what you do, take action. Stop being that guy who's just sitting on the sidelines hoping the coach puts him in the game. No, be the guy that demands the ball in the game. Be the MVP of your own life. This is time for you, gentlemen. Today, right now in this moment, go take action.
I love it. I love it. Strong call to action. And the reality is, like we said, 70% of divorces initiated by women.
Yeah.
Over 50% of couples within therapy, the men said they were content and happy. Mm-hmm. So guys, do not wait until you're in that position. You don't need to be in that position. You don't need to have to talk about things all the time. You can focus on the connection and take action. I don't want to add anything else above and beyond what you said because it was so on point.